welcome back to the Chrysalis Key read along. In this fourth episode, we're talking about chapters 17 through to 21. Now, chapter 17. I just love writing Hugh's scenes. There's a real carefree sort of style to him, and it makes me feel that way when I'm writing him. He's one of the characters that comes effortlessly to me, and something really exciting happens to him in this scene, and I think you will really enjoy his storyline. So the image that comes with chapter 18 is possibly one of my most favorite images in the story. I think I'm going to make it a permanent artwork for the series. My chapter images artist did take creative license on this one, and I am very glad for it. I do love Julian Westsong as a character, and I would really love to write more of him in his point of view. He has such an interesting background story, and I'm not sure we'll have too much space to explore it in the Travelers, but we'll have to see, because it would be a shame to miss it. Now, Principal Eversong and Julian Westsong, their names are similar for a reason, so you can probably guess that they are kinsmen, which is not a spoiler, so I'm happy to tell you that here. It's just something that comes up later on, but if you picked it up, well done. I am working on a bonus scene to tell you about where they both come from, because it's super interesting, and I might release it between books 1 and 2. I'm not sure yet, so we'll have to see. Now, with chapter 19, we have a big revelation. These unnamed chapters have been Beatrice Melhaven the whole time. So we've gotten to see her grow up, and in this particular chapter, it is one of my favorites. I really enjoy writing her and getting into the nitty-gritty of her wild magic and just seeing her at play. I really love writing her, and I think that comes out, or I hope it comes out on the page. Secret knowledge is learned here, and we have to wonder what its consequences will be. So finally, with chapter 20, we get to Chrysalis Island and get to see the school. Gosh, I'm so excited for you guys to read these chapters on Chrysalis Island. It's our first intro in chapter 20, and we get to see all the weird things that happen there. And the little gargoyles in the library. I don't even know where the idea came from, but I love them so much. Having a supernatural or magical library is just the best thing ever. And in the Chrysalis library, we actually get 2 libraries. One of them is the secret, mysterious one, which you will have to stay tuned to find out more about that. In my middle grade novel, The Fae Princess, the Fae Palace Library has a different way of finding books there. Basically, they have a bonsai tree with little vine arms and hands that sits on a desk with a paper catalogue in front of him. You know, the ones we used to have them in primary school, I think, with the little cards, each with its Dewey Decimal number and the name of the book. And basically in this story, you use this little tree as a search engine. You tell him what subject you're after, and he uses his little fingers to pick out the cards that are relevant to you. So I think from there, that got me thinking about the different ways a magical library could work. And in here in this chapter, we also see Aiden thinking, and he's finding his own way about things. And that's what I do love about him as a character. He definitely is a man of his own mind. Now, chapter 21. So I think this is the very first ever scene that I wrote for the Travelers. Melanie as a character did come to me first. And at that stage, I was figuring out the bones of the story. And honestly, it gives me chills every time I look upon this scene. This is what I call a cornerstone scene. So I wrote the Travelers in a really disjointed way. I have scenes from book 5, book 6, book 4, and that's how I wrote them all over the place. And those first scenes I call cornerstone scenes because they're the heart of the story, and they're the scenes upon which the 5 main characters sort of turn on. They're sort of really important to the main 5. And when I say main 5, I really mean main 7, but we won't talk about that here. Now, my mum really hates the White Lady character, and rightfully so. She actually comes from a dream that I saw when I was a little kid in primary school, probably around 10 or 11 years old. And I still remember her face, and it really unnerved me. Obviously, it left an impression on me enough to construct a character around her, what is it now, 15, 20 years later. And how I've written her is exactly how I saw her. So on that exceptionally creepy note, this is how we end this episode. I apologize for that, but I will see you super soon in episode 5. So happy reading!